My dear fifth grade children, how are you, ma? Are you fine? Are you stay at home? Welcome back to online class. Now you are watching social science subject in online class, isn't it? Am I correct? Okay, fine, ma. Let us start to study social science. Yeah. Do you like to study social science? Do you like to interest to study social science, ma? Okay, fine. Let us start to study. Okay. Now listen here. Today we will see that new lesson, that is major temperature zones of the earth. Lesson number 4. The title of the lesson is major temperature zones of the earth. Okay, fine, ma. In the previous class we have learned that earth, details of the earth, isn't it? Then latitudes and longitudes, then motions of the earth, isn't it? Now we study that major temperature zones of the earth. Okay? Okay. Yes. Which planet we are living? We are living in the planet Earth. The planet Earth is home to a variety of living beings. It is the only planet to support life. This is because of the presence of water and air. The layer of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere, isn't it? So in the previous class we learned that unique character of the earth. Now we'll see the different zones of the earth. Okay? These different places on the earth experience different types of climate, isn't it? Some places may be very hot while others may be too cold. Thus the climate varies from place to place. So these are the previous class we have learned, isn't it? Okay, now we will see that zones. That is, based on the amount of direct sunlight received, the earth can be divided into 3 heat zones. What is zones, ma? That is, based on the amount of direct sunlight received, the earth can be divided into 3 heat zones. These heat zones are also referred to as climatic zones. Okay, the various heat zones are, we will see that. So what is zones? That is, we already in the previous lesson, we learned that some of the places, distance of the place from the equator increases, the temperature decreases. The places near the equator, it is very hotter. At the same time, the places away from the equator or far away from the equator, the places will be very cooler, because places away from the equator means sun rays not directly falls on that place. That's the reason. Okay, that is in the previous class we learned thoroughly. Okay, so we move away from the equator towards the poles, the sun's rays become slanting, spreading over wider area. These areas are therefore cooler. Thus the regions near the poles is the coldest places. At the same time, the place located near the equator, the places the sun rays directly falls on that places, so it is very warmer or hottest. But near the poles, the sun's rays not directly falls, it is a slanting rays only falls on that places. So what happened? It is very coldest. Can you clear it, ma? Okay. So based on this amount of direct sunlight received, the earth can be divided into 3 heat zones. Heat zones are also referred to as climatic zones. The various heat zones are. Now, first of all, we study the temperate zones. What is temperate zones? The different temperature zones are called heat zones. What is heat zones, ma? The different temperature zones are called heat zones. The heat in each of these zones depends on how far it from the equator. Can you clear it? The heat in each of the zones depends on how far it is from the equator. It is close to the equator or it is very far away from the equator. That place located is close to the equator or it is very far away, more distance from the equator. Okay. The temperature zones near the equator are the hottest. Okay. The temperature zones near the equator are the hottest. So these zones near the equator is hottest. At the same time, as we move away from the equator, the temperature zones become cooler. The coldest temperature zones are near the poles. Near the poles is always mostly it is very cooler. The same temperature zones are found in northern and southern hemisphere. Okay, the equator divides the earth in two equal halves, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Equator is the middle latitude. It is the numbered as 0 degree. Okay, it is the imaginary line. Okay. Now listen here. The climate in temperature zone has an effect on the natural vegetation as well as the animal life of the zones. These temperate zones only animal life and plants also, natural vegetation as well as animal life on these zones, temperate zone. But in the northern poles there is no life. It also affects the lives of the people who lives there. Okay. Now we can see that mainly important three zones are. That is the torrid zone, and second the temperate zone, and frigid zone. What is the three zones? According to this temperature, we have three types of zones, that is torrid zone, second one is temperate zone, and third one is frigid zone. What is torrid zone, ma? Torrid zone is the region on both sides of the equator. In the previous class we learned that middle line is the equator. It divides the earth into two equal halves, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. All the latitudes parallel to the equator. Can you clear it? All the latitudes parallel to the equator. Can you clear it, ma? Okay. Okay, fine. Now listen here. So, these both sides of the equator between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Now listen here. We learned that near the equator, two sets of special latitudes also there, isn't it? Two set of special latitudes. The first set of latitude is, what's the name that? Can you remember it? Same, that is Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Isn't it? As this region lies close to the equators, so this torrid zone is the region. Torrid zone means it's both sides of the equator between Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, that is the first set of special set of latitude. First special set of latitude, that is the Tropic of Cancer at the north and Tropic of Capricorn at the south. Okay, so can you clear it? Okay, fine. Now listen here. Torrid zone means the region on both sides of the equator. It is both sides, north side and south sides of the equator, between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It is lying in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This is a first special set of latitude. Can you clear it? No doubt now? Okay. As this region lies close to the equator, so it receives direct rays of the sun and hence remains hot throughout the year. Can you clear it, ma? This region lies close to the equator, so it receives direct rays of the sun and hence remains hot throughout the year. This is a torrid zone. You understand, ma? Okay. Torrid zone means this region lies both sides of the equator. Next, temperate zone. What is temperate zone? Temperate zone is the regions between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. Okay. Temperate zone is that is a region. It lies between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, as well as this region between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Okay, ma. We already in the previous class we learned that two sets of special latitudes near the equator. That is, the first set of special latitude is Tropic of Cancer in the north and Tropic of Capricorn in the south. Can you clear it? Okay. Then the second set of special latitude is, what is that? Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, isn't it? As well as the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Can you clear it, ma? So, this first region, torrid zone, is the region on both sides of the equator between Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. Then second, now temperate zone means is the regions between Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. This zone lies in the Tropic of Cancer. That is the first special latitude, and Arctic Circle, that is the second special latitude. Can you clear it? This region is Tropic of Cancer and it lies in between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern. Can you clear it? That is the first set of special latitude and the second set of special latitude. In between these two is the temperate zone. This is in the northern hemisphere. Can you clear it? Okay. Like that, at the southern poles also is the region between the Arctic Circle in the north pole in the northern hemisphere and the regions between Antarctic Circle in the south pole in the southern hemisphere. That is a now temperate zone. Now see that. That is Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Can you clear it? That is the first special latitude and the second latitude in place between first special latitude and the second special latitude in the southern part. Can you clear it, ma? This is the temperate zone. Okay, now listen here. The torrid zone, that's we see that this is the region on both sides of the equator. This is a first special latitude. Okay, leave it now. These areas which are near the equator. Anyway, the torrid zone is lies near the equator. That number is 10 degree. The equator, that number is, what's the number ma? 0 degree. This first special latitude, its number is 10 degree north and south of the equator. North also 10 degree and south also 10 degree. It's close to the equator. So, this is called the equatorial regions. Now listen here. This torrid zone has two regions. That is, first one is equatorial regions and trophical regions. So, the zone torrid has two regions. That is, equatorial regions and trophical regions. What is equatorial regions? The areas which near the equators, that is 10 degree north and south of the equator, are called the equatorial regions. Okay? This torrid zone has two regions, that is equatorial regions and trophical regions. What is equatorial regions? Means the areas which are near the equator, that is 10 degree north and south of the equator. Can you clear it? Okay. Then these areas between 10 degree and 30 degree north and south also 10 degree to 30 degree, that it is called trophical regions. Can you clear it now? So now you listen here. You keep in your mind, torrid zone means this zone, this regions lies between first special latitude and the equator. First special set of latitude, that is, what's that? Tropic of Cancer in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. So in between these two places, that is the torrid zone. Can you clear it now? Okay. From this torrid zone, two regions are there, that is equatorial regions and trophical regions. What is equatorial regions? That is, equatorial regions means that is areas between 10 degree and north and 10 degree south, that places is called equatorial regions. Okay. At the same time, what is the trophical regions? These areas between 10 degree to 30 degree north. This 10 degree north and 10 degree south means that is a equatorial regions, but at the same time trophical regions means that areas between 10 degree to 30 degree north and like the same 10 and 30 degree south is called the trophical regions. Okay. This torrid zone also has hot deserts and tropical grasslands. The torrid zone is a very hot because it is close to the equator. The sun's rays directly falls on these places. Okay. These features of torrid zone. What are the special characteristic features of torrid zone? Can we see that? So we seen that this tropical zone has two regions, isn't it? That is, first one equatorial regions, second one trophical regions. The equatorial regions means that is a 10 degree, here 10 and 30 degree, isn't it? Okay, now we see that differences between these equatorial regions and trophical regions. Can you clear it now? Okay, fine ma. Now see here. Listen very carefully. Okay, fine. Now let's see here. These equatorial regions, these parts of Africa, South America and Southeast Asia. These equatorial regions, that places located these equatorial regions means that is Africa, South America and Southeast Asia. But at the same time, trophical regions means Indian subcontinent and other parts of Southeast Asia. What is Indian subcontinent and other parts of Southeast East Asia. This is a trophical regions. Now listen here. This equatorial regions is 10 degree north and south of the equator. That is we seen that, isn't it? Equatorial regions means 10 degree north and 10 degree south of the equator. But trophical regions means between 10 and 30 degree north and 10 and 30 degrees south of the equator. That is the trophical regions. Okay, the trophical regions means Indian subcontinent. What is Indian subcontinent? Indian subcontinent means that is a India's neighboring countries, that is Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan. That is the Indian subcontinents. Okay, and Southeast Asia also. Okay, now listen here. Then equatorial, second point is equatorial regions are very hot because it is very close. This zones lies in between 10 degree and near the equator, isn't it? 10 degree north and 10 degree south of the equator. So this is very hot but humid. Humid means moisture in air and rain throughout the year. Hot, humid and rain throughout the year. This is the equatorial regions. But at the same time, trophical regions means this is hot summers, rainy months, cooler winters in the plateaus and hills. Here, summertime is very hot and rainy months, and winter time it's very cooler in the plateaus and hills. This is the trophical regions. Then third, in the equatorial regions, that is parts of Africa, South America and Southeast Asia, these places have evergreen. What's the forest? Evergreen equatorial rain forest here. Okay, here seen that evergreen forest. But at the trophical regions it is deciduous forest. Okay, this evergreen forest means this forest, the trees remains green. Trees remains green throughout the year. Okay, but these deciduous trees shed their leaves summer season in every year. So in equatorial regions we can see the evergreen forest. At the same time, trophical regions we can see the deciduous forest. Can you clear it, ma? Okay, next, largest variety of land and water animals. Here, this equatorial regions largest variety of land and water animals. But in the trophical regions we can see that plant eating and flesh eating animals, and that is a wild animals. Flesh eating animals is a wild animals. Okay, but in equatorial regions we can see mostly water animals, but in trophical regions plant eating and flesh eating animals we can see that. Then these equatorial regions, very few people live here. Equatorial regions is very hot, so it is very few people live here. There is mainly a tribal populations. Tribal means they move from one place to other. So here very few people only live here. But there also the population is tribal population only seen in these equatorial regions. But at the same time, trophical regions means farmers and peoples who live and work in cities and towns. Farmers and peoples who live and work in cities and towns. Because this weather condition is suitable for, it is hot in summers, but rainy months rain will come, and also winter time coolers in the plateaus and hills. So this weather condition is here in the trophical regions good. So farmers and people who live and work in cities and towns. Can you clear it, ma? Okay, okay, fine. I recall the today's portions. Now listen here. Today we will see that temperature zones. What are the different types of temperature zones? That is torrid zone, and second one temperate zone, and third one is frigid zones, isn't it, ma? So we can see three types of zone. Based on the amount of direct sunlight received, the earth can be divided into three heat zones. Heat zones are also referred to as climatic zones. The various heat zones, that is torrid zone, temperate zone, frigid zone. What is torrid zone means? It is the regions on both sides of the equator between Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. This Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is the spatial set of latitude. That is the first set of spatial latitude. Okay, that is Tropic of Cancer in the north and Tropic of Capricorn in the south. Can you clear it? Okay, ma. Then second we see that temperate zone. This temperate zone is the region between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle. That is temperate zone means we can see in the previous class we learned that what is means the second set of spatial latitude, that is Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. This is the second special set of latitude. So this temperature zone is the region between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern. At the same time, Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the second. This is the temperate zone. Okay. So from the torrid zone also we can see that two regions, that is equatorial regions and trophical regions. Okay. Can you clear it? What is the equatorial regions? Equatorial regions, this is areas between 10 degree and 30 degree north and south of the equator. So, no, sorry ma, these equatorial regions means that is only 10 degree north and south of the equator. That is the equatorial regions. At the same time, trophical regions means areas between 10 degree and 30 degree north and south of the equator. This is the trophical regions. Okay. Oh, okay ma'am, okay, fine. And next class we will continue. Now, your exam portions only 3 lessons. First, second, 3. So, that lessons you will correctly copy it and book exercise also complete it and study well. Okay, ma? If you are reading book fully, then only you can find out the answers. So, okay, study well. We will see that next class, and doubt means you ask me. Okay, fine, ma. Okay.